So Aldelo Express has a new user interface, something that we released in fourth quarter. It was an update to the Mesa online that your customers have already been enjoying. We do release these updates, and sometimes they are automatic. In this case, Mesa Online, because it is a web-based application, will update immediately, and your customers will already be seeing the benefits of that. The interface looks like this. It has what I looked at it and it said smaller images make it faster loading. When I told Harry and Jeff this, they told me I was delusional. And I'm all right being delusional, because my perception is that it's faster. Now, you can play with yourself and you can come up to your own determination. But the technical people in the company say I'm crazy, and I don't mind being crazy. It looks faster to me. You can scroll items to reach new categories. That's something I'll show you here in a moment we can do, but you're able to scroll up and down to reach the categories a lot easier if you wish to do it that way. We're using radio buttons now for the modifiers. This is also allowing you to scroll up to the next level of modifier so that you can scroll and get to those additional groups. It's very linear up and down. 86 items from the restaurant that are 86, they just don't display. We don't have a little gray out situation. It's actually, they are eliminated from the display. When all modifiers or qualifications are met, then you can hit the add to cart. Right now, you're looking at my screen that shows the add to cart is not, it's still grayed out. It's because I haven't done all the modifiers yet. So let's take a break now. And I don't see any questions in the chat. So I'm going to now switch over to my iPhone. And so that you can see the presentation there, see what it actually looks like. Okay, now you're looking at my iPhone. We're going to take a look at the Happy Grill. And it immediately goes into what destination are you looking at. It's just, in this case, pickup or delivery. Since I am so far from the Pleasanton office, it's outside the pickup window, but I can still do delivery. So let's do a delivery order. You'll notice now that the icons and the buttons are slightly smaller. That's how I looked at it. It was loading faster. You guys can determine on your own what you think. When I go here now, these are the appetizers. And if you'll notice, I can scroll and it will go to the next series of categories. In this case, soup and salad, and then steaks. And so it does allow you to scroll all the way to the bottom of all the items. Another change is that the items that don't have a picture now don't have a little gray box. It's just blank white. So to me, it's a cleaner look. It looks better to me than what we had before. When you enter an item, there's the item in a larger picture. You can choose the quantity and then, of course, add to cart. Steaks, now you can have the modifier, what size you want on there. And then here are those radio buttons we talked about, how you can choose the item and be forced to complete the order. Once you completed all the requirements, you can then add to cart. Moving through the order, it now shows you the display of the order. You can add to, you can take from, whichever you want to do. You can also redeem a coupon at this point. I'm going to go ahead and do next, which then this is the same as it was before. Choose the time and then how I'm going to pay for this. In this case, it says Mesa e-gift or pay upon delivery. If I had credit card turned on my device, I could then input my credit card into this and pay for it that way. I'm going to go ahead and choose e-gift because kind of processes the same way. You get to pick your tip and which card. you can have multiple gift cards. So it's going to ask you which card would you like to redeem. I'm going to pick my card and it will then process.
A new Mesa online order was received.
I hope you heard that. My iPad over here to the right is the POS iPad, and it had its message that a new Mesa online order was received. On my left, I've got my KDS, and so you heard that chime as well. So it processed the order, received the order at the POS, and then processed it through to the kitchen without anybody having to do anything, no acceptance of the order or whatever. That's how we have this store set up. If your customer wishes to authorize and approve every order that comes in, so be it. It's a flag setting and that can be done. So at this point, I've got an order over here on my POS and in the kitchen that is processing through. So at this point, I'm going to stop and we're going to allow your opportunity to ask questions. So you can unmute yourself if you wish and ask questions.
So Douglas was asking here, does Mesa offer food suggestions, i.e. salad? You can put those in as modifiers and they can be optional modifiers and you can put those on there, but no, it's not going to come up and add suggestions and stuff. Realistically, you're looking at limited real estate space. You know, if most people are ordering from their phone, having pop-ins and things like this that would make suggestions oftentimes actually makes a lesser user experience for people. And so we've seen that that's something that people tend to shy away from. You do see those from time to time show up at the end of orders. After the order process is completed, it'll say you can add these Pepsis or something like this. And that's something we might look at for a future feature suggestion, but it's not something that's implemented now.
In your back office for this particular customer, for your customer, you would have a flag that you could turn on to allow a dine-in. That then opens up a lot of possibilities of you putting the QR code on the table so that that QR code can be very table specific. So when the customer orders by scanning the QR code at that table, when that order is processed, the kitchen knows what table that came from. So they can order, reorder, and pay from their table side, their sales without any interference from a server.
Right.
So yeah, it can be table specific with a QR code.
Okay, and is that okay, for example, so if customers at the table scan the QR code, obviously that QR code is specific to that particular table only. So it's, let's say table 8, let's say for example a 4 top.
Yeah.
And as a customer, am I able to park or how can I say it, have an open tab if I can keep ordering?
It is an open tab.
Okay, awesome.
And Joseph, one of the cool things right now for kind of a limited time, you can actually go to aldelo.com. You'll notice probably about halfway down the page, you can actually order those pre-printed table stickers. We have them for free on our website for customers.
Oh, nice. Awesome.
And so you can actually order those. We also have the door clings that you can order from us as well. You can order through our website, and those too are free to help merchants promote their website. Because if you guys have not heard, you know, COVID now is multiplied into not only different variants, but other things. This is going to start impacting merchants again. And so this is going to be something they really want to get out and do.
Yep. QR code ordering was like people were approaching us and thinking we were like little Looney Tunes. We were so far ahead of the game when we did this that others are now in a catch-up mode. Others are just displaying the menu. While we do that as well, we can display the menu, but we also can allow that restaurateur or that customer to purchase and order their own food. So there are options for what we just described as table specific dining. We also have the opportunity for call ahead or take order ahead dine in. That is an option as well. So when the customer has the app on their phone, they can save this now as something in one of their favorites. And they can use this anytime they wish to dine ahead, curbside pickup, and delivery. That one app does all that for that restaurateur. So the customer should be encouraged to keep that app on their phone. All right, what else we got, Jeff?
So Doug is asking, can you split a ticket from the app? And I eat out 3 to 4 days a week. I've never, ever in my entire life seen somebody want to do that even. What you can do is each person at the table can scan the QR code and all 4 make orders to that same table. There's nothing that stops them from doing that.
Restaurant
that would be the typical thing that would happen.
Yeah, his restaurant would want that. So now all 4 people have that app on their phone.
Yeah, but you really wouldn't be doing it from the website. It would be one of those things that you would, each one of the people on a 4-top, for example, could just open their own phone, order the items, and go. But you would be able to do that from, if all 4 of them after the order was made wanted to have it split, you could split it from the point of sale, no big deal. You can combine tickets from the point of sale. So if all 4 ordered it and wanted it combined, you could do that at the point of sale. It's actually just a couple of button clicks. It's very simple.
And the best part, it's included with the Aldelo Pay. They can have this app is no charge. All right, I don't see any more questions. Jeff, you got it all. You're good on that?
I think we're fantastic, sir.
Okay. I'm going to bring back up. Next up, Aldelo now has scales. You've been asking for that for a while. We've been testing, and we are now certified on a scale interface. It is using the Bluetooth scale from Star Micronics. It has a 18-pound capacity. It's not, so that's enough to do what we're doing. We're weighing small items, candy, ice cream, yogurts, those things. This will work perfectly for that. It is compatible with, of course, iOS and Android and Windows. So this one scale has the ability to do Bluetooth or USB connections. It actually has an RS-232, but a serial connection, but that doesn't really apply to us anymore. Main thing is it's Android and iOS Bluetooth. So this is compatible with both of our systems, both of our tablet systems. It can be set to pounds, ounces, or grams. The pound display is a 2-digit display, and the ounces displays up to 5 digits past 0. So that's really very, very accurate. The reason I know this is that when you have one of these scales and you're looking at a pound, setting it to pound, if you throw a piece of paper on that scale, it'll weigh it. It is that sensitive. But if you throw a dime on it, it won't. The 2-digit scale won't display that because it weighs less than 0.05 of a pound. So what you would do in these cases where you're weighing lightweight items, go ahead and put it over into ounces, price your POS at ounces, and let it then go out to 5 digits to the right of the scale, to the right of the decimal, and that makes it extremely, extremely accurate, so that you're not getting charged for something that you are not getting. Next up is, it's really simple to turn on. There's a single flag in the back that you check the box, and your scales are looking for an interface. It's ready to interface. And that does turn off the manual interface so that you cannot enter in the digits manually. You'll be using the scale to use for the weight. There are 10 tare weights. And I'm going to explain to you what a tare weight is. So the ones who know, please just bear with me. when you're buying, say, a cup of yogurt, you're getting a small cup. Well, that small cup has a weight, and you have to then use what's called a tare weight, or zero the scale with that cup. So what you're going to have is, for your small yogurt, it's going to have a tare weight of whatever that cup weighs. Therefore, whenever the cup with the yogurt is placed on the scale, it deducts the weight of the cup from the purchase. So that's a tare weight. Now, there are 10 different tare weights in the system. So usually that's enough to cover a yogurt shop, ice cream shop, something like that. If you're going to get into something much larger, then that's going to be a problem. You will have more than 10. But that's what those tare weights are used for. And you'll need to know how to program those. You can have 10. There's also mix and match codes for things that are two for $3 or something to that effect. If you have that, just know you do have mix and match codes. Not thinking that's going to be a big requirement, but we do have them. Now, here's something that you might not be understanding. If you sell a scale, it has to be registered with your state somewhere. In Florida and in a lot of states, it's with the agricultural department. They have to certify that scale. So when it is installed, somebody, you or that restaurant owner, has to notify the state agency over scale weights that you have a scale. And they have to then come out and certify that scale that is accurate. Now, you've seen these certifications when you're at the gas pumps. There always is a sticker out there that says that pump has been certified by some agency. This is the same thing. The scale has to be certified annually that it is accurate. So somebody, you or that restaurant owner, has got to make this happen. And it is not something that is trivial. Jeff and I were discussing this morning about how there are fines for this scale not being certified by the state, and they can range from small to quite painful. And they have the ability and the authority at the state level to shut that place down, padlock the door, out of business, just because that scale is not certified. So this is not something that it needs to be toyed with. This is very, very serious. So take that into account. Know that has to be that way, but you got to get that scale certified. All right, questions on that?
So we did have a couple of questions in there about the scales and you know, what verticals and stuff this is good for, and really appreciate these questions. Yes, you can actually use this in delis, meat places, almost any place that they're weighing food. This is certified for food use, so they can do that, as well as use for jewelry and other things that they've Star has gone through and certified for. So they do have their NTEP certification for that. And then we have done our NTEP certification as well. So it is approved and ready to go.
This is the scale model number here on the screen. How to do the auto tare? It's under the device config. So you choose the device that is connected to the scale, and you go in, third tab over, will then show you what the scale choices are. You check the box to show that you are using this as a scale. And then the tare weights are right below that. Let's see. There it is. Turn this on. Is it in ounces or pounds? Display digits. Count. Now here are the weight items. So Gilson, are you following me here? There. Settings, TOS config, Third tab over is weight options under weight sizes. So here are the 10 different tears. This is also obviously where you see the mix and match codes are placed here. Jeff, he's asking where to set up for the tear on here. I'm just winging it at this point.
So if you go down further to the extended settings, and you'll see where there's a mix and match code there right above pricing. That's for your pricing items. And then you got to turn that this is a weighted item. So way down.
It's at the bottom.
Yep, I think you just passed it here. It says this is a weighted item. There it is when you turn it on right there. And so, whoops, yeah, turn it on right there is your weighted item. And that sets that up so that this item will now automatically have a pop-up that'll ask you which tears you want to do and make it easy that way. If you want to use it where it automatically comes up, you've got to put it into the mix match group there at the top. So you'll put your mix match group information in there, and your mix match group has to match whatever number you put in on both your tear and in your item have to match, and it will then automatically recall that data. But for most situations, your weight and measure guys are going to want you to actually have it manually input. They're going to want you to actually choose it on the screen of which tear you're using. So it varies a little bit by state. Is that a good idea to do or not? And you may end up with your, usually they're not going to fine you for automatically doing it, but they are going to oftentimes want you to have a variable where you can do it, just in case somebody's putting something into a different type of unit. And then Douglas is asking, how do you program the scale? For the most part, you take it out of the box and you turn on the Bluetooth, which there's actually a quick setup guide that comes with the scale that tells you how to do it. It's actually really easy. And then it's pairing it with your iPad or your device. It's you know, pairing is actually very, very easy. And since it's a low powered Bluetooth item, once it's paired, it just works. There's nothing else to do with it. And pairing is actually one of those things that turning this on is a matter of going into the menu, turning on Bluetooth. And I was told by Star that a lot of the new ones actually come out of the factory that way, the Bluetooth turned on. So when you power it on, you can actually just find it with your iPad, pair it together, the default code 0000, and it just works.
Okay. Yeah, this is the current version of the software, 1.87. Is that it, Jeff?
1.9.1.
Yeah, there it is. I'm running 1.9.2.
You're ahead of what the release is.
Okay. Well, let's hope we don't have anything that jumps out as a feature we're not supposed to show. So there you go, guys. What other questions you got?
So Henry's asking, does it pair with one iPad or can you pair with multiple devices? Weights and Measures does not like you to pair with multiple devices. And so that is not how this works. You're going to pair with a one-to-one pairing. And so it's really hard to get your NTEP certification if you're doing a multi-pairing. And I don't know of anybody that actually does it, that's done it legally. And then for liquor store applications, as well as Aldelo Express, handle this application. So I don't know what you're looking for in your liquor store application, you know, but it is a feature in Aldelo Express. So that is out there right now. And as far as what the cost is for the scale, I've noticed these scale prices vary quite widely. I would recommend you shop around. You know, we picked ours up from Blue Star, and that's, you know, a pretty decent price there. There are some people out there that are a little bit lower than they are, but you're going to get a pretty decent price from them. But I did find a lot that varies pretty dramatically. So it's one of those things you're going to want to check around. And yeah, Gilson's interjecting. He bought one for $750. Thank you for interjecting, Gilson. You know, but they're do vary quite widely.
Okay. Anything else, guys, on scales? This is not something you play with. And that's why I was so emphatic when I was making that point, is that do not play around with this. This is worse than the IRS.
Yeah. And one of the things we were kind of talking about is that it's, it varies from who your person is that comes out and does testing. Most of the time, this is one of those things, they'll start off very polite. And let the restaurateur, the retailer know that, hey, look, you have a certain amount of time to get this tested, register with the state, get this done. They'll give you kind of a letter or a little note and let you know, and it's pretty unofficial a lot of times. And then it continues to kind of escalate from there. But I've heard some horror stories of somebody that's gotten in a fight, the restaurateur and the assessor has gotten in a fight or something like this, and it's come down to some pretty hefty fines right out of the gate. And so they have a great deal of leeway in handling this and putting up those fines, when most of the time registering this with your state officials is either free or very inexpensive. And they will send somebody out, again, depending on your state, it varies from state to state, but oftentimes it is either free for somebody to come out and do this assessment, or it's pretty trivial. It's usually pretty small amounts of money to have them come out and check it. And they will go through their process of making sure that it's accurately weighing, that it's level, that it's being cleaned and maintained. And it's a pretty trivial matter most of the time.
This is an opportunity for you as a referral partner to make additional income as well. Yep. When you go out for your annual maintenance, and I'm going back to my days in the POS business of going out annually to clean and certify that hardware. I cleaned the printer, sucked out the paper dust, cleaned the terminal, wiped it down, made it nice and spiffy and clean, and checked the scales. And I made sure they were zeroed and they were cleaned and they were checked prior to the annual service from the state coming out and checking and certifying this.
And then Doug is asking, what is a time frame for getting tested? It varies from state to state. So California is one of those that you better have it tested before you charge a single person. That is what the law is. In practicality, I've seen them actually go in, and I've seen this firsthand, where somebody will see it might have been there for a year, 2 years, 3 years, and somebody will, come in that and let them know, hey, look, you've been turned in and you got so many days to register with us. Let's go through that. And I've even seen here in California where they're so nice about it, they'll sit down with you and help you do it and walk you through the process. And they're very kind about it. And then they'll actually do the testing and everything right there on the spot for them. I've heard of some bad stories where people have gotten asked to disconnect those immediately and use them non-integrated until a tester comes out. And how fast that is, again, varies from state to state. How fast, how backed up are they and how fast is somebody going to address this problem? But I can at least speak to here in California. They're really fast about it. They've got so many people out in the field doing this that oftentimes if you register it, they will come out that same week and test it. Other states, I can also speak to Nevada and Montana. Nevada's a very laissez-faire about it, and so is Montana. You have a 60-day period where you can actually have it in operation before it needs to be checked. And even then, once your appointment is set, you can use it, before the appointment's set, even if the appointment is, say, 4 months out, they will let you do that. Jerry, do you know the rules there in Florida for that?
No, I'm not, I don't remember the scale. I know you had to register it. And then once you did that, you were pretty much in the clear. Yeah. If you registered it, you were good to go.
And I know they automatically will come by once a year.
Yeah.
Almost every state. They'll come by once a year and check you out. once you've done that. And then somebody was asking, how long does a scale last? I have one in our office that is about 20 years old now. I don't have an exact date on when it came to us, but it's probably about 20 years old. It has gone through, I would love to say it had a peaceful, wonderful life. It has gone through some abuse as tech support people have moved it from desk to desk to desk and probably dropped it a dozen times. And
that's moved from 3 offices.
It's gone from 3 offices. I can also tell you that there seems to be an interest in tech support people to see how much something can handle. So it is not uncommon that I've come in and found, a scale that's meant to have 30-pound maximums is holding, somebody is standing on it, and they're a 200-pound man, standing on a scale. And that thing still passed certification testings and still had worked with our software. So that kind of blows me away. Once they're in there, unless they hit a really good impact, they're pretty solid. And even Star says these could last 20 years out in the field. They do have problems if they start getting wet. So if you do, get water into them, they will have problems with them. This particular model does have the ability to have batteries in it. And if the batteries explode or something like that, you could have a problem there and it might shorten the life cycle. But outside of minor problems like that, and by the way, it's just dry cell batteries that you're putting in, like you go buy at Walmart or something. They're not, Duracell batteries go in here. It's not a built-in battery. So it's something you can clean in maintenance. And I do know for most states, I see you're asking, where do you go for the website to register this? If you actually type in new business scales, you will oftentimes get it coming up in one of the first pages of information. You can also try registering your scale and then your state name, and you will oftentimes have it come up right away.
In Florida, it's the agricultural department.
Yeah, Department of Agriculture will handle it for you there. But usually you can type in registering your scale and the state, and it will come up on Google right away.
Yeah, we know this is new to you guys, and that's why we're taking extra time to go over it. Just know that we can help with additional phone calls. Our people are ready to help with this scale, get your interface, get you going. It's something that has been asked for a lot. We now have it. And now all of a sudden it's going to become a thing. You're going to have to learn how to do it. All right, next up. Let's get this through here. Aldelo Express now has artificial intelligence with facial recognition. This is something new. We are the first in the industry to have this. This is not Apple facial recognition. It's far better. We'll explain and show you why. Number one is Apple is to one terminal. You can have one face and one terminal, and that's it. Apple also won't work with a mask. It's very persnickety. So in our case, we have to be able to work with a mask and have unlimited number of people that can log in using their face. So in this case, we have it. You'll notice at the bottom, there is a new button that says face login. That is now on your iPad demo systems if you're at 1.92. It is used as a login alternative at this point. So at this point, it's an alternative to entering your numbers on the SIM keypad. There's also a manager authorization feature that is an alternative as well. So that's where we are with the first release. Other releases to follow that will have additional features as well. As always, we're not going to talk about those features, but we are teasing you, telling you that we got some stuff coming that's pretty deadgum cool. This will work with a mask. So you can take the picture without the mask put a mask on and it will work as long as the eyes and nose are exposed. You cover the nose, it won't work. You uncover the nose, it will. You can even change out hats. We'll play with it here in a minute and I'll show you. Works with or without glasses, except Jeff noticed that when he had his glasses and they were tinted, it didn't work. So that you have to have some kind of availability of the eyes to be able to see the eyes. So sunglasses are not going to work. But with my glasses, I can take them on or off, and they does not alter this whatsoever. The employee scans their own image. So when they go to facial login for the first time, it's going to ask them to take that picture. And it's just a quick snapshot. And then if they need to update that later on, they can. It takes 1 to 2 seconds to log in. So if you got a 4-digit login number, this is actually faster. It's easier and faster to do. So let's take a break here and let's take a look at how this works. There it is. All right. So bottom left, you see now you have a face login. And that's it. That's how fast it is. Now let's play with that. Let me get off the side. You see it still works. If you can get half your face in, it's going to work. Let's try this now with a mask. Okay, mask over your nose. It's not working. Mask under my nose, it works. Doesn't matter what color mask. It doesn't even matter what hat. Doesn't matter with the glasses. And that's faster than entering in 3 digits to me, guys. Is that perception again? I don't know, but it sure looks like it works to me. So logging in and manager authorization are now.
Hey, Jerry, this is Tim, and I can tell you I've been using it for about a week. And it's one of the smoothest things, I guess, that Aldelo has ever just, come out with and put on the format, on the platform, and it works perfect. There's the only thing I need to know, does it work on the I think it's the V920, the all-in-one machine? Will it work on that one?
You talk about the
It's
handheld?
not implemented for Android.
No, it's not Android. Because
Okay,
think about it, the camera's on the back.
right.
It's not how that's supposed to work. In this case, camera's on the front. I can use it here.
Right. I got you.
We can also, if you notice, I have a ceiling fan behind me. I can take this and turn it, and it's still, now the clock behind me, it doesn't matter. It's the face.
And Doug's asking, how do you program that? It's actually on by default.
Yeah, it's turned on.
There's nothing to program. When the first time you go in, it will come up and ask you, you'll enter, you'll hit face login. It will, there it is. You'll put your face in there. And if it doesn't recognize your face, it's the first time you do it, it'll have you put in your access code afterwards. And then from that point on, the two are tied together. The cool part is that you can do it right from the iPad. So you don't have to go to a back office or anything like that to go do it. You do it right. Yeah, there it goes.
Yeah, I'd make
Now
it
say register new face.
Yeah, that's it.
Smart thinking there, Jerry.
There it is.
Registered his face and boom, there it is.
Done. Guys, that's simple. I mean, that's stupid simple. I don't know of a server who can't figure that part out. How incredible is that? I don't know why somebody else hadn't already thought of that. Why do we have to be the first? We are. Yeah, we're going to eliminate buddy punching. that's punching your buddy in, clocking him in and out. We're going to eventually lock that down. That what you're going to go play with. I would be shocked if everybody on this call doesn't get on their iPad and play with that one. And you're going to find out just how much fun you're going to have with different masks, different colors, different positions. I was sitting there lowering my hat down, trying to hide my face. I had a good time with it. The only thing we found is don't do sunglasses. It has to see this right here.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
it can work.
I actually have an adaptive pair of sunglasses where they'll do the transition lenses. And so if my glasses start to transition and you can't see my eyeballs, yep, it won't work. And that kind of makes sense. You're blocking out part of your face. It's the same thing as if you blocked your eyes, it wouldn't be able to have anything to do with it. So it makes a lot of sense. But as soon as I take my glasses off, boom, it works. It's perfect without any problems. So kind of neat.
I even showed you, I did it with half my face hidden. So it's quite flexible, but yet accurate and fast. Okay. This is a wrap up. What we've shown you today is we have shown some features that are going to help you sell more product, sell more systems, as well as we've answered a lot of questions for you. That's what we do every Friday. So just put this on your calendar that you come back every week, and we will have something to show you that will make you profitable. We will help you grow your business. That's one of the very unique things about Aldelo and how we do business, is that we know that we're successful if you're successful. And that's what we're trying to do. I'll come back every Friday and we'll do this again. Jeff, any last parting words?
No, go and have a great 2022.
Thanks, guys. We'll see you next week.